Hello everyone, this is Professor Mahesh Pardeshi from Parvatibai Genba Mose College of Engineering, Wagholi, Pune. Today we are discussing with the classification of section. So first of all, let me explain you basics about this classification of section. First of all, we will see the different types of elements. That is, first one is the internal element and second one is the outstanding element. First is the internal element and second one is the outstanding element. I will explain this by using one diagram. Just see here, this is one of the rolled section. So we will take the I section first. See, the different parts of this I section are, this is flange. This is what? Flange. This is web. This is web, and again this is flange. Okay, this top flange, this top portion is called as top flange, and this is bottom flange, this is web. Now see the first part, that is internal element. It is the element for which both the corners or both the edges are connected to the other elements, like this web portion. See the web portion. See the web portion. Here for web portion, both the corners or edges are connected to the other elements. That's why this web is called as internal element. That's why this web is called as internal element. Okay. Now second is the outstanding element. Here these flange portions or flange elements are called as outstanding element. Why? Because in case of this outstanding element, only one part or one edge is connected to the other element. One edge or one part is connected to the other element. That's why these elements are called as outstanding element. This flange is called as outstanding element. Now in this heading, that is classification of section, we have to classify the two elements, internal element also and outstanding element also. Means we have to classify these two elements, and by classification of these two elements we will decide the class of the whole section. First of all, we have to classify the two elements for every section. First of all, we have to classify the every element, that is internal element and outstanding element, and by comparing these two we have to take the worst combination. We have to take the worst combination and then we have to decide the classification of the section. Means the classification of this whole I section. First of all, we have to classify this internal element, then we have to classify this outstanding element, and after that we have to decide the class of this whole I section. Okay, we will use by using one example we will see this. Okay, taking one problem. Classify the beam section. Question here. Classify the beam section where Fy is equal to 250 MPa, and first section is ISLB 300 at ISLB 300 at 37.7 kg per meter. 37.7. Here ISLB. What is the meaning of this ISLB? Indian Standard Light Beam Section. ISLB is nothing but the Indian Standard Light Beam Section. Okay. Now here 300. 300 is nothing but the specification of that section. It may be depth of that section. Okay. Next is this one, 37.7. In various types of sections, means the sections are available in different weight categories. Maybe the same I section ISLB 300 is available in 37.7 kg per meter. Also the same section ISLB 300 is available in heavier than this weight or having some less weight than this weight. This maybe happens or may be possible. Okay. So here the section is given as ISLB 300 at 37.7 kg per meter, means we have to take the properties of this section only. We have to take the properties of this section only. To take the properties of this section, we have to use the steel table. We have to use the steel table. Here Ramamurtham steel table we have to use because it is approved by the university. Okay. If you are not having this IS steel table, you can use IS 808. Okay. Now first of all we have to identify the section in between these. Okay. First of all we have to identify the section ISLB 300. Okay. The first column in the steel table is given designation. Here we can easily identify the section, that is ISLB 300. Okay. Now next are the properties of that section are given in this steel table. Okay. Next is the weight per meter, and here the weight is given 37.7 and its unit is kg per meter. Okay. Our section is 37.7 kg per meter, so I will get this section. Okay. Now next point is the sectional area. Sectional area, but we does not require sectional area while classification of the section. Therefore no need to write the that cross sectional area. Next is the depth of the section. Next point is the depth of the section. First of all we have to write this depth of section. First is the depth of the section, that is 300 mm. Depth of the section is 300 mm. Okay. Next property is width of the flange. Width of the flange, it is denoted by BF. Width of the flange is denoted by BF and its value is, width of the flange is 150. Width of the flange is 150 mm. Okay. Next property is thickness of flange. You have to take every properties from this steel table. Okay. Next property is thickness of the flange, that is TF, denoted by TF, and its value is 9.4 mm. 9.4 mm. Okay. Next property is thickness of web, and it is denoted by TW. Thickness of web, and it is denoted by TW, and its value is 6.7 mm. Its value is 6.7 mm. We have to require these four properties while the classification of section, because we have to classify the two elements. First element is the internal element and second element is the outstanding element. For every element we have to classify. For every element we have to classify, and from these two classification we have to classify this whole I section. We have to classify this whole I section. Okay. Now we will start. Okay. First thing, first element, outstanding element. Outstanding element. Outstanding element. To take this outstanding element, first of all you realize or identify the diagram. Here you must go through this diagram again. This is flange and this is web. Okay, again we'll see this element is the internal element and this element flange is the outstanding element. So while going for outstanding element, we have to use the properties of flange. We have to use the properties of flange only. So for the outstanding element, we have to take the ratio of width of the flange to the thickness of the flange. Width of the flange to the thickness of the flange. Why we have to go for this ratio? Why we have to go for this ratio? Because it is given in the IS code. Because it is given in the IS code, you have to go for table number 2. Okay, in table number 2 you can see here, in table number 2 various sections are given, that is rolled section. We have to go for first rolled section here. Here you can see in the first column rolled sections are given, and for that rolled section outstanding element and internal element, two categories are there, outstanding element and internal element. In case of that outstanding element, the ratio given is B upon TF. Here you can see, you have to open your IS codes, you have to see the table number 2, page number 18. You have to see the table number 2, page number 18. In that you can find first point, that is outstanding element. In that you can find the ratio B upon TF. Here the ratio is given as B upon TF. That's why we take the ratio as BF upon TF. Okay, you can easily get the value of this point, that is width of the flange is equal to 150 mm and thickness of flange is 9.4 mm. Thickness of flange is 9.4 mm. Calculate this value. Calculate, all of you calculate this value. This becomes 150 divided by 9.4. You will get 15.95. What value you get? 15.95. Okay. Again you have to go to your IS codes. Okay. See table number 2 again. See table number 2 again. Okay. In this table, see the column number 3. See column number 3. In that column, the value of B upon TF is given as 9.4 epsilon. Value is given as 9.4 epsilon. Again in table number 4, the value is given as 10.5 epsilon. In the next semi-compact, that is table number 5, column number 5, you will get here the value is 15.7 epsilon. 15.7 epsilon. Now I have to tell you one thing. What is the meaning of epsilon? What is the meaning of epsilon? Value of epsilon you have to calculate. Okay, and the formula to calculate the epsilon is given below that table. Below that table, you have to see your IS code table number 2. In that table, note number, see below that table the notes are given. Various notes are given. You have to see note number 2. You have to see the note number 2. In that you will get the formula to find the epsilon. Okay, very simple formula is there. Epsilon is equal to, here you can see that epsilon is equal to under root of, epsilon is equal to under root of 250 divided by Fy. 250 divided by Fy. What is mean by Fy? Fy is the yield stress of steel. Fy is nothing but the yield stress of steel, and it is given in problem. You can see here. You can see here. The value of Fy is always given in the problem. The value of Fy is 250 MPa. So you can get the value of epsilon very easily. You will get the value under root of 250 divided by 250, which is equal to 1. You will get the value of epsilon as under root of 250 divided by 250, and its value is 1. Very simple, very simple. You can easily remember this formula of epsilon, or if you have difficult to remember, you easily get the formula from IS code. Okay, so value of epsilon here is 1. Okay, and we will get the outstanding element. We will get the value of BF upon BF upon TF for the outstanding element, that is 15.95. Now we have to classify the section of the outstanding element. You have to go to table number 2 again. You have to go to table number 2 again. Here in the first row you will get the values for outstanding element. Okay, and the values of B upon TF ratio are given 9.4 epsilon, 10.5 epsilon and 15.7 epsilon. The values are given as 15.7 epsilon. Here our value is 15.95. Our value is 15.95. What is the meaning of it? Our value exceeds this value 15.7 epsilon. Our value exceeds this value 15.7 epsilon. That means our section is slender. Our section is slender. The outstanding element is slender because it's having the value of BF upon TF greater than 15.7 epsilon. Greater than 15.7 epsilon. That's why we have to go for slender section. We have to go for slender section. Now second point we will see here. Second point, that is internal element. Now we have to go for internal element. Okay, what is the definition of internal element? The element which is connected to both ends of that element is connected to other elements. Both ends of that element is connected to other elements. That's why that element is called as internal element. Now here you can see second point, internal element. Okay, here first of all we have to find the value of depth of that internal element. How you will get that depth? Again see here. Okay, first of all we have to find this value h. This value we have to find, because this is the actual depth of the internal section, internal element, not this overall depth, actual this depth is the actual depth of internal element. Now how you will get this depth h? Very simple. This depth is already given in the steel table. This depth is already given in the steel table. Here at the top you will get the value that is denoted by h1. The value is denoted by h1 and its value is given here. H1 for the IS LB 300, the value of H1 is 245.1. Here you will get the value 245.1. The value is given in the steel table. The value is already given in the steel table. The value of H1 is equal to 245.1 mm. Here it is denoted by H1. Now you will find the ratio, that is H1 divided by thickness of web. What ratio we have to consider here? H1 divided by thickness of web here, because we are dealing with the internal element, we are dealing with the web portion. That's why here we have to use the thickness of web. You will get easily answer, that is 245.1 divided by thickness of, and the thickness of web is 6.7 mm. Therefore 6.7. All of you calculate this value. That is 245.1 divided by 6.7, we'll get 36.58. We'll get 36.58. 36.58. Again you have to go to table number 2. Again you have to go to table number 2. Here we have to compare the value, okay, between the standard values. Here you have to go for internal element of the compression flange, second point is there, and third point is web of an I section, H section or box sections. Okay, here web of an I section. What is given? Web of an I section. That's why we have to go for this. And second one is neutral axis at mid depth. Neutral axis at mid depth. For given I section, the neutral axis lies exactly at the mid depth. Here you can see. Here you can see. Here you can see. The neutral, this is the neutral axis, okay, and this is exactly at the mid depth of the section. That's why we have to go for these values, okay. So D upon TW ratio, that is depth to thickness ratio, is 84 epsilon. First value is 84 epsilon, second is 105 epsilon, and third value is 126 epsilon. Here our value is less than 84 epsilon. This value is less than 84 epsilon. This value is less than 84 epsilon. Okay, here you can compare the value. D upon TW ratio is less than 84 epsilon. That's why this section is classified under the class plastic, because you know the definition of the plastic section. We already see here. Here also you can see the definition of the plastic section. Definition of the plastic section. The value are less than these values for the plastic section. Okay, means if the value is less than 84 epsilon, then the section lies in the class of plastic section. Okay, here our value 36.58 is less than 84 epsilon. That's why our section lies as a classify as a plastic section. Therefore the section is plastic. Therefore the section is plastic. Again there is one small concept for the outstanding element. For the outstanding element, here you can see here in the diagram also, see this part, see this part. Here this one is the outstanding element. This one is the outstanding element, and you can see here, this outstanding element is connected at the midpoint, okay. See carefully, this outstanding element is not connected at these ends, this element, outstanding element, is connected at this midpoint, So in this case, while calculating the width of the flange, while putting the value of width of the flange, we have to consider this half value. Not this 150 mm as a full width of the flange. Width of the flange is 150 mm, means this overall lip, this one. Here you can see this total width of the flange is 150 mm. But here you can see that this element is connected at the midpoint, so we have to take the value from the midspan or midpoint. Okay, that's why this value becomes half. Not the full 150 mm. Not the full 150 mm. See properly. 75 mm. Why I am using that 75 mm? Because this outstanding element is connected at the midpoint. That's why I am taking the half value. I am taking the half value for the width of the flange. And now you have to find this ratio. Again, now you have to find this ratio. 75 divided by 9.4. Your value is 7.97. 7.97. The value becomes 7.97. The value becomes 7.97. Again you go to your IS code, table number 2. Again you go to the IS code, table number 2. For the outstanding element, first line, outstanding element, rolled section, B upon TF. If this value is less than 9.4 epsilon and the next value is 10.5, again the next value is 15.7, but our value is 7.97, that is this value is less than 9.4 epsilon. This value is less than 9.4 epsilon. This value is less than 9.4 epsilon means this section is classified under the class plastic, because this value is less than 9.4 epsilon. Value of BF upon TF is less than 9.4 epsilon. That's why it is classified under the class of plastic. I can write here. All of you get this value, how to calculate the epsilon? Okay. By comparing these two values, we can write the section is plastic. The section is plastic. Okay. Now we will get both the values for outstanding element and values for the internal element. The outstanding element is classified under the class of plastic and the internal element is also classified under the class of plastic. Therefore, you can say that the ISLB 300 is classified under the class of plastic only, because both the elements are classified under the class of plastic. Okay, outstanding is also classified under the plastic and internal element is also classified under the plastic. So you can write that therefore ISLB 300 at 37.7 kg per meter. You have to write this value because the sections are different for different weights. Always write this value. Is plastic. Therefore ISLB 300 at 37.7 kg per meter is classified under the class of plastic. Okay, got it? Thank you.